Good morning, everybody. It's Core again. I'm here to talk to you about the Diary of a New Artist, Episode 4. So, in my last video, I had mentioned that in this video, I was going to talk about your first show or shows in general. But this is really geared towards those of you who have never done a show and want to get into a show. So, I have some notes written down because I barely remember my name from day to day. So I'm going to get right into it. When you have an opportunity to do a show in your area, the first thing I would tell you to do is research the show and determine whether or not that show is a good fit for you. For example, there are some shows that focus on really fine art, landscapes, and stuff like that. And if you're a very modern abstract artist, that might not be the best show for you. So do a little bit of research first, determine if that show is right for you. When it comes to applying for this show, you need to do a little bit of homework first. You have to make sure that you have at least 5 to 8 high definition photographs of your pieces. I'm not talking about pictures that you can take on your phone. What I mean is like high definition, large pixels, very good quality pictures of your painting. A lot of applications will ask for that, and if you don't do that, you're automatically not considered. They will right click on your photograph, and if they'll see that the resolution is too low, even if your stuff is beautiful, they will exclude you from that show. So be careful. Take some high quality pictures of your art. And another recommendation I would have is don't take photographs of paintings that you don't intend to bring to the show. So in other words, don't take pictures of pieces that you don't have available. Take some pictures of what you have available and that what you plan on taking to the show that represent your style. Once that's done, they're going to Google you. I guarantee you, when they get your application, they are going to Google you. So, as mentioned in one of my first videos, you need a website, you need an Instagram page, and you need a Facebook account. They want to see your online presence. They want to know that you have the capability to promote them. Not so much them promoting you, they're depending on the artist to promote the show for attendance, so it's a success. So keep that in mind. Get your Instagram, your Facebook, and a website up to date. Get new pictures on there. They just want to see that. They want to see that you can market them as a show. When it comes to the show itself, make sure you have a cohesive collection. You want anywhere between 10 and 25 pieces, depending on the size of paintings that you do. But you want them to be cohesive. Mix and match at an art show doesn't necessarily always work. If you're doing an outside market in the summer and that's where you sell pretty much anything. But a professional show in a city will want a cohesive collection, something that sets you apart from the average, say, craft artist. So keep that in mind. Cohesive collection. Also, a variety of price points will help. If able, make sure you have some smaller cash and carry pieces, but only if you're able to. And what I mean by that is if you're doing large scale abstract pieces or landscapes or whatever your style may be, think about doing some smaller ones or taking some prints and applying them on a canvas or on a wood cradle board, like this. Take your painting, make a smaller version, throw it on that, and sell it for $25. Some people that can't afford your larger pieces would be looking for something, maybe cash and carry, that they can take away that still represents you as an artist. So keep that in mind. Another thing that you want to have together for your application is a bio. You need to have done your bio. I mentioned that in a previous episode. There are tons of examples online. So I would suggest Googling artist bio. I had mentioned before, people like to read fancy wordings when it comes to bios. They don't want to read things like, "Oh, I just love to paint." they want a little bit more fancy wording. Like you like the balance between color and energies and bringing people together in a cohesive blah, blah, blah. That's what you should be putting in your bio. I know it sounds ridiculous, but shows and galleries eat that up with a spoon. All right? So let's pretend you've made it in. Flip my paper over. If your show is outside, here's a list of things that you're going to need. I might miss a few, so if you have other suggestions, throw them down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'm sure other artists would love to hear from you as well. A tent. A tent is key. Here in Canada, you can buy them at Canadian Tire. You can buy them at Home Depot. There's a few places online you can get them. I personally bought mine at Canadian Tire. They had a summer sale, and I got a really good 10 by 10 tent, and I think it was $150, and it came with 4 walls. It was a great deal. Next is grids. This is going to be a little bit challenging for some of you who don't have the big black metal grids. There are probably places in your city that can rent them. And for a day, it's actually fairly inexpensive, probably $3 per grid. Most times you need between 8 and 10. So $30, $40 a day, that's nothing. Because I realized I was going to do a lot of shows in my first 2 years to get myself out there. I bought grids. I went online, I found a company in Canada that were selling them for, I think, about $18 or $19 a grid, and I bought 10. So that was an investment for me, and it's paid for itself since. A chair. Seems simple, but you'd probably forget it in your first show. So bring a foldable, collapsible chair with you. And if you have smaller pieces, consider a folding table. You can get those anywhere. Canadian Tire, Home Depot, Rona, Lowe's. Any of those stores will have a foldable, collapsible table. Other than that, tarps. So not the tarps that go in your tent, not the walls. I mean an accessory tarp, like a blue tarp that you can get at any kind of home hardware store. And what that is you're always going to have boxes or Tupperware filled with paintings or materials. If it starts to rain, you don't want to put those boxes inside your tent where your art is. You're going to keep it outside, and you're just going to wrap the tarp around those boxes so they don't get wet inside. So easy to fold up, keep it in the big Tupperware. Tupperware. It's a good segue. Go to your home store in town. You can buy huge, big Tupperware containers. They have wheels and a handle. I highly recommend those. You can put all your hardware in there that I'm about to describe to you. So, hanging hardware, the S-hooks, the grid material, zip ties, get them at the dollar store. You can get like 50 for $1 or 100 for $1. Get a couple packs. They're great. Your business cards, your bags, your packing material, your, what do you call it? The really thin paper you get for weddings, tissue paper. Tissue paper will go in there. Blankets, your extra coat, your food, your drink, anything. You go in that Tupperware, you walk to your shows with that. It's great. You put it in the back of your tent when you're done, put a tarp on top of it. You're good to go. When it comes to business cards, so we're done our Tupperware. We're going to move on. You should have business cards. What I've learned over the years is I only hand out business cards when I'm asked for business cards. In the past, in shows, I noticed that a lot of younger people, it was often younger people, kids sometimes, would come and take 2 or 3 business cards off my table. And in a 2 or 3 day show, I would lose about 100 business cards to just teenagers and kids who never had any intention of buying a painting. They just come and take my business cards. Well, that's just not smart business. So I would keep my business cards in my pocket. And when people would come and have conversations with me or see me or just walker-bys that wanted a business card, they'd say, hey, do you have a business card? And I would give them a business card. So that just helps to keep your inventory high rather than just giving out a business card to random kids that are walking around. But again, that's up to you. I leave that up to you. Something else you want might do, something else you might want to do for your table if you have one is get a candy dish. Go to the dollar store, get some hard candies, put them in a candy dish. Depending on what you're selling, it will attract people. For me, I have a style of art that I do that attracts kids. So I put a candy dish out, and I guarantee you that draws the parents in because they're asking if their kids can have one. And next thing you know, they see a piece, and you've made a sale. So depending on what kind of show you're going to, if it's an outdoor venue, that could be an idea. Bags. Bags are really important depending on the size of your artwork. I find the dollar store you can buy 50 bags for $30 and you can put all your art in there and it just gives it more of a classy feel. I've seen some people wrap their paintings for clients in like big black garbage bags. I just don't think that's a professional look at the end of the day. A nice bag, even though it's going to cost you $2 or $3, you can absorb that for a $400 sale or a $50 sale, whatever. It just gives it a little bit more class. As well, if possible, offer delivery. If you are at an art show and someone wants to buy a bigger piece, offer them delivery. Say, listen, at the end of these shows, it's 2 days or 1 day, I'm willing to drive to your home and deliver it to you if you are local. That's really good customer service. You'll get to know your clients a little bit better, so it increases the chance of a rebuy down the road. And it also looks really good at a show if you can put a big red sticker on a painting that said sold. It tells other people that you're in demand. So keep that in mind as well. Tool case. You're going to need a tool case. Something that has all your hardware, all your S-hooks, your screwdrivers, zip ties. You're going to need one. Don't forget it. You go and get one. Food and water. If the venue doesn't have food and water, make sure you have a little cooler somewhere that you can have some snacks. And the number one that I wrote down is breath mints. You are going to be talking to 100 or more people in the span of 2 days. You can't have nasty breath. So go to the dollar store and buy a couple of little small shakers of breath mints and make sure you pop in those from hour to hour because you just don't want skanky breath when you're trying to sell beautiful art. Dress comfortable but professional. If you have a funny personality like I think I do, I usually have a funny t-shirt on or a superhero t-shirt on. Whatever fits your style, but I wouldn't suggest, track pants and a sweatshirt. You're representing yourself at these shows. Some of them are more professional than others, so dress the part. And if you're a clean freak, you might want to consider some Purell because you're going to be shaking a lot of hands, touching a lot of packaging material, all that kind of stuff. So you might want to cleanse your hands from time to time. Before the show, know your market. So if you're doing a show that primarily attracts people in the age ranges of 30 to 60, bring pieces that are going to appease them. As well, what I do is I offer web discounts. So weeks before my show, I'll put like a coupon on my Facebook, Instagram, my website that says, if you print this coupon and bring it to the show, you'll get 10% off or 15% off. So again, that encourages people to show up to your booth, and that's what it's all about. So choose a a percentage point for a coupon that works best for you. And if no one uses it, great. There's no harm, no foul. But if someone does, it's great promotion. And finally, promote the show as often as you can. Once you're in, that company or that organizer wants to know that you can promote them. So weekly, you're going to promote that show. You're going to show a picture of your painting that says this painting is going to be exclusively available at this show. Do that as often as you can for about the 2 weeks to 3 weeks leading up to that show. And share it on Facebook, Instagram, ask your friends to share it. It's twofold positivity. Number one, you're promoting yourself. So all your friends and family and they're sharing. Number two, you're promoting the show, which also increases your chances of you getting into that show next year if it's successful. If the organization can see that you're really pushing on a from a marketing point of view, you're good for their business. So whether or not you personally have sold anything, you're bringing people to that show, and that's good for them. Good business. So that's it for shows. If you have any questions or have stories that you want to share with me, leave a comment below, and we'll share some ideas. See you next time. Bye.